I have a book addiction. I was adding them up the other day. I thought it was around 500 or so. No, it's 800. Now, I'm okay with having 800 unread books because I'm a really strong believer that you should have a variety of books to choose from. And I am a mood reader, so I never know what I'm going to be in the mood for from one book to the next. So it is especially important for me to have a lot of books on hand to choose from. However, 800, well, that is getting a little bit out of hand. So I need to make myself stop buying books on whims and get some of the books I have read through before I make any more real large book investments. So I thought maybe if I set myself a loose goal, just choose some books off my shelf that I'm really wanting to read soon and give myself the goal of reading those in 2021. I thought maybe that would help me sort of clear out some of my books without buying new ones. So the first book on that list is Oreo by Fran Ross. Now, I recently got this book in my Box Wallace subscription. I believe it was for January. It sounds really, really good. I'm going to read you the synopsis because I think the synopsis itself is enjoyable. The Oreo is raised by her maternal grandparents in Philadelphia. Her Black mother tours with a theatrical troupe, and her Jewish deadbeat dad disappeared when she was an infant, leaving behind a mysterious note that triggers her quest to find him. What ensues is a playful, modernized parody of the classical Odyssey of Theseus, with a feminist twist. Immersed in 70s pop culture and mixing standard English, Black vernacular, and Yiddish with wisecracking aplomb, Oreo, our young heroine, navigates a labyrinth of sound studios and brothels and subway tunnels of Manhattan, seeking to claim her birthright while unwittingly experiencing and triggering a mythic journey of self-discovery like no other. I thought that sounded really, really good, and I'm really excited to read this. So yeah, so it's hopefully I'll read that this month because I really, really want to get to that. The next book is The Rings of Saturn by W.G. Sebald. I actually started this book several months ago. It's a nonfiction where the author just sort of is traveling around what appears to be Europe at the moment anyway, and talking about the buildings and the things he comes in contact with and sharing his thoughts. And his thoughts are very interesting because he delves into some historical figures and things like that. And I really, really liked it. I'm on page 51, I do believe. Yeah, page 51, and I already had 10 book notes. I was really, really enjoying this. I set it aside. I don't remember why now, but I never did pick it back up again, but not because I wasn't really, really interested in it. I thought it was fabulous. So I definitely want to finish this. And then Crisis in the Red Zone by Richard Preston. This is a follow-up book to The Hot Zone. Both books are about the Ebola virus. The Hot Zone is about the origins of the Ebola virus, and this is about the story of the deadliest Ebola outbreak in history and the outbreaks to come. And I'm on page 72 of this book, and I actually started buddy reading this with my book friend Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Who is fortunately very forgiving. I felt so bad that I stopped reading this book. But what happened was I ended up in a book slump. And so I read almost nothing for a few months. However, I was really, really enjoying it. It reads just as wonderfully as the first book did. And as you can see here, I already have a bunch of notes on it. So yeah, so I'm really excited to get back to this one and finish it. So it's on the list. And then I can finally discuss it with Sandy. Then Alien Oceans by Kevin Peter Hand. I saw this book on Steve Donahue and had to have it. It is all about the potential for life on the moons of Saturn and Jupiter, which is a subject I'm very, very interested in. I'm interested in anything that has to do with space and physics, period, but I'm especially interested in the potential for life on Jupiter and Saturn. And this book talks about that. And I am on page 92 of this book, and I was really, really enjoying the content. The writing style is not suited for my tastes. It's quite dry. However, the information is outstanding. Outstanding information. I'm hoping that the writing style becomes a little more entertaining further into the book. So yeah, I definitely want to finish this one. The Possession by Michael Rudker. I read the first book in this series. The series is called The Anomaly Files. This is the second book. The first one, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so good. I enjoyed it so much. I thought the characters were absolutely wonderful. That was my favorite part of that book, and it was a really good story. The Anomaly Files is about a group of people who produce a YouTube channel, and the man who is in front of the camera, his name is Nolan, and Nolan's kind of like an amateur archaeologist. And so what they do is they go out and they look into and research like legendary and mythical places. And one of the places is a cave. And it turns out that the cave, there's actual some reality behind the myth of the cave, and some horror ensues. And some very, very interesting sort of sci-fi-ish themes as well. So I really, really enjoyed that book. And then this is its follow-up, and it's called The Possession, which I'm assuming is about a possession. And the next book is Sphere by Michael Crichton. I have been wanting to read this book for a very, very long time, probably since high school at least. I have never got ambitious about finding a copy of this book that I liked. I do remember finding a copy in a bookstore one time, but I didn't like the way it looked, and so I passed it up. But I found this old hardback edition, which is in excellent shape, off of Amazon for $5, so I picked it up. So I'm really excited to read that. And then The Game We Don't Play Anymore by Mike DeFrench. Mike DeFrench is a booktuber. His channel is called Pites and Paperbacks. He also wrote another book, but this is the one I chose to read. And I really, really want to see what he's like as an author. So it definitely makes the list for this year. The next book is The Winter of the Witch, which is book 3 of the Winter Night trilogy by Catherine Arden. I read the first 2 books at the end of 2019 and loved them. I thought they were so incredibly good. I just enjoyed them so much. And I got about 30 pages into this one, got distracted by a buddy read, and then never picked it up. And I was enjoying it, and I loved the first 2 books. So I absolutely want to finish this one and finish it soon. The next book is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. I have been wanting to read this book for most of my life. I do believe I was exposed to this story in grade school and have wanted to read it ever since, and then never did. My dad didn't have a copy of it, and so it didn't get read. I never checked it out the library or anything. So I finally have one of these nice vinyl copies from Paper Mill Press. So yeah, I'm really excited, and so I'm definitely going to read that this year. Or at least it's on my goal list. Okay, the next book on the list is Conan the Cimmerian Barbarian. This is the complete Weird Tales omnibus. Weird Tales was a Pulp Fiction magazine in the 30s or thereabouts, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll put that on the screen here. But anyways, I saw this on Pints and Paperbacks and have been dying to read it ever since. I was going to buy it for myself, but a friend of mine bought it for me in hardback, because he knows I'm a hardback girl. And so yeah, I can't wait to read this. It even has, like, in front of each of the stories, it has a picture of the cover of the magazine it appeared in. Let me see if I can find one here for you. Oh, and it also has illustrations. I think they're the original illustrations as well, but here's one of the illustrations. Here we go. Right there. Nice, huh? So that's the cover of the magazine that the story that follows it was in. So yeah, I really, really like this book. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, they're in columns, just like the magazine. So yeah, so you can have as close to the magazine experience as you can get. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this too. So I definitely want to read that this year. Okay, so that's all of my loose reading goals for the year 2021.